just a bloke in a bar.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of Bloke in a Bar, brought to you by Bloke Beer, the best beer in all the land, beer for blokes that turn up. Go to our store locator, put in your postcode, it'll show you the nearest stockist. We've got hundreds of stores across New South Wales, Queensland, Victoria, ACT, plus Bloke merch. We've got party shirts, we've got Bloke singlets, Bloke boardies, Bloke thongs. Head over to bloke.shop. We've got bundles, we've got discounts, everything over the summer period. Perfect for a gift, for yourself, for summer. So that's at bloke.shop. But I'm absolutely stoked to say I've got the great Keaon here. How you going, brother?
Good, bro. How you going?
How's the you obviously get back from the World Cup. How's the body feeling? How's everything going?
It's all right now. When I came back, it was a bit banged up, but
Yeah.
it's good to be back home. I missed Australia, so I couldn't wait to come back home and just enjoy the food back here. So.
And like the weather over there is so cold, bro.
Bro, the first 2 weeks was actually all right.
Yeah.
Because I was looking forward to the World Cup and never been to England. And I was just enjoying it. And then after 2 weeks, I think it was just too good to be true. And then just change from there and turn shit. So
You got to wear fully rug up every time you leave the house. You're fully rugged up.
yeah, even if it looks sunny, you walk outside and it's freezing. So
I remember when I was I think 15, I went over there for soccer.
oh yeah.
And when you're 15, you're not even thinking properly. Like the amount of times I saw clear skies and we're like, oh yeah, mad, shorts, fucking thongs, shirt. And I walk out, be freezing. So I'm feeling you, bro. So with the World Cup, it was such an interesting World Cup for Tonga because Samoa's incredible run, was super inspirational, all that kind of stuff, and you guys were still so close, and yet it almost disappointing at the same time. But you're only a couple points off, and it was such a tight match. What was it like internally in the camp?
Camp was mad.
Yeah.
Probably one of the best experiences of my life. You can probably imagine if you have a bunch of Islanders in a team, it would just be pretty much laughing the whole time.
Yeah.
And training's different vibe and that, and it's just a mad time. But obviously we didn't play to sort of how we wanted to play. There was probably, I don't know if there was reasons for it or whatever, but maybe just enjoying ourselves too much. But no, you live and you learn sort of thing. I know that all of us sort of have a fire in our belly to make things right. And when we first started the camp, we sort of talked about we have the team to sort of do it. And obviously them beating Australia and New Zealand and Great Britain and stuff in 2019, that. We they only got better, and the younger boys only got older and more experienced, and but that's how footy goes. You have to be the best team wins on any day. No matter how good you are on paper. It's just and Samoa, that's probably it was good. It was a great experience. That was my first game against Samoa. It was something I'll never forget, and Probably just wish that the World Cup was in Australia and New Zealand just to probably experience the fan base and stuff. So, but over there it was crazy. Freaking having Tongans and that in England, and it's just Tongans are crazy, bro.
And so were you a part of the squad in 2019?
No, I didn't even. I was still working in 2019.
Really?
Yeah, I debuted in 2020.
Okay.
So I was still working. I went to the not the game where they beat Australia. They versed Australia, I think, either earlier in the year or the year before at Mount Smart. But I think Australia pumped in that game. But I remember I was up in the nosebleeds. Because my sister lived in New Zealand at the time.
Yep.
So she got me tickets, and when she told me, I was like, wow, I want to go. Yeah, because I always used to watch it on YouTube, them doing the haka, the anthem, and all that. And I was like, bro, that was the best experience of my life watching it.
Yeah.
And then to be able to play 3 years later or something.
Yeah.
In Mount Smart where I was watching it, was pretty crazy.
Do you because you're the really interesting thing about your current age and everything is you're a perfect example, and I'm not sure you probably would have played for Tonga anyway, but to see them do what they did, the effect on you being a young guy that's coming through and almost maybe the decision was already cemented, but if it wasn't cemented by then of no, I want to represent Tonga, was that the feeling for you watching them do what they did?
Yeah, obviously growing up, obviously Australia and New Zealand were the most dominant, and you never thought in your wildest dreams that Tonga would be able to beat any of those teams. And when that happened, it was just you see the crowd and the fans and all that in the country going crazy. And I just wanted to. That was probably my biggest dream was to play for Tonga because, you know, my dad's Tongan and he's a big part of why I play. And I just wanted to sort of make him proud. And I always said to myself that, you know, if I was able to get the Australian and Tongan jump at the same time, I'd pick Tonga first.
Yep.
Even though I didn't get picked for Australia, but I always had that in my mind. If that happened, I'd always pick Tonga first.
You already had like, you'd prepared yourself mentally of, if that did happen, I know where I stand in regards to international footy.
Yeah, and I was just lucky enough to coach rung me, I think at the end of last year or start of this year, just to get my thoughts on stuff. Because obviously I was in the Origin camp last year, and it's sort of a pathway to play for Australia.
Yep. I was so the Australian coach rung you.
Oh no, Tonga coach. Sorry,
yeah.
He just wanted to ask, you know, where I sort of stand, and he understands if, you know, I want to pick Australia and Tonga. And I said, I'm set on Tonga, and it's the biggest dream of mine, and to represent my family and my culture. And any time that I'm able to put Tonga jersey on, I'll do it.
Do you remember the debut for Tonga?
Yeah, it was the New Zealand test this year.
Yep.
I remember. I was like, because I remember I heard, because I'm close with Liver heavily, and he got a good relationship with the coach, and the coach told him that they're trying to organise a game in New Zealand in June. And when he told me, I was like, fuck. I was like, bro, I want to play that. Yeah. Because obviously there's heaps of Tongans in New Zealand, and it would just be crazy the crowd and stuff. And I was in the crowd in one game, so we're pretty crazy watching playing in front of that crowd. And I just wanted to sort of play, you know, my best football. Just that was my goal this whole year, was just to play for Tonga. And when he called me and said, you know, I'll be playing, I was like, I didn't want to tell my dad and that like straight away, because I probably would have started crying. But I told him, and it's pretty crazy thinking back on it. Yeah.
Because, like, as you said, a year before that, you're sitting in the crowd going, wow, this is hectic.
Bro. Yeah. I remember when I walked out, when I played the game, when we sung the national anthem, I remember I was looking at where I was sitting. Yeah. And I was like, I told myself, like, I don't want to be that player that cries, like, on TV. I was like, don't cry, bro. And I was trying my hardest not to cry. Yeah. And lucky I didn't, but it's like one of those, like, moments where you're like, fuck, like, when you're singing national anthem and you're looking up, you know, where you were sitting a couple of years ago, and it's just like, fuck, like, everything just paid off. Like, your dreams do come true, and it's just crazy how life works. Like, you know, I was a plumber back then, and I was playing reserve grade for the Bunnies, and I was like, I'll just play and see how it'll go. And 3 years later, I'm playing.
Crazy. And like, when the national anthem comes on too, I assume, like, you think about, like, everything, like your family, your heritage, like the connection to your country, what you would be willing to do for your country, and all that kind of. I assume it just hits you all at once.
Yeah, bro. I remember like some of the older boys, like Andrew Fafita and that, was just saying, you know, don't get too worked up before the game, because you still, you know, got a game to play, and national anthem and the haka and that is, you know, takes a lot out of it.
So, 100%.
Yeah, don't get too overwhelmed. And I remember thinking about all that, like my family, my culture, and, you know, having that dream as a little kid, and I just tried to get rid of it straight away. Just try to enjoy the moment, look at the crowd, and it's just crazy. I'll never forget that ever.
Do you remember anything from the game? Was there like anything that stood out, like the pace of the game or anything like that?
Probably how good New Zealand were. Like, that was my first like international game. Yeah. So, you know, having like all the gun players in one team, I never played that before. And probably the crowd like was so loud, bro. They were just singing, and it was pouring. That, like, I think the second half it was pouring, bro, and they're still like partying and going crazy, and bro, it's crazy.
I'll never forget when Tonga played Great Britain, England in New Zealand, Mount Smart.
Yeah.
I think, was it the 2017 World Cup? Yeah. Anyway, whichever it was. I'll never forget that sea of red men. Like, that was wild. They were like, I've never seen anything like it in rugby league.
Yeah, like, that's when Jace led it. Because that's when
at the end there, strip, not a strip. If he doesn't, it's a try. They win. They go to the grand final.
Like, I remember a lot of Tongans and that were buying tickets to Suncorp, like, because obviously, you know, they beat New Zealand, and then
it would sell out really quickly.
So they got their tickets, and I think a lot of them were just pissed off that, you know.
Every single Queensland celebrations right now has Bloke on special. So if you're in Queensland, you want a case of Bloke, head into your local celebrations. If they don't have it, it's sold out. Or just ask them politely, can you order some Bloke beer? Get in your local celebrations in Queensland. Grab a case of Bloke. Let's get back to the chat. Okay, so yeah, with the World Cup, like, was there anything? Because like this would have been your first like full-on camp with like the boys and that. Like, was there anyone that I guess you learned a lot from, or what was the like thing that really stood out for you from the camp?
Probably sort of. I don't know. There was a lot of things. Probably how much we bonded, like how close we bonded, like, and how quick it was. Like I remember, even going to New Zealand in the mid-year test, like I was a bit scared. Like me, some of the boys, like fuck their guns and that. Like me and Jason, that for the first time. And no, in the World Cup, bro, like all the boys, like they're all humble and that, and they just want to have a good time. Like everyone talks to you, no matter like Jason talks to you, Siwa talks to you. Like it's not like they've done so much in their game and you're just starting, and but they just joke around and fuck Connie's the best.
Connie Harrell, one of the greats.
He's pretty like Fox, like like one of those guys, but he's on steroids, bro. Just non-stop.
You need someone like that in camp, bro, to bring energy, bro. Because otherwise, like sometimes when you've done fitness, everyone's like heads off.
Yeah, and he just says something that's just funny, bro. Like he just does shit and it's just like, what the fuck? Like, how do you even think of that, bro? But no, it was pretty sort of what I learned probably from Fuss. He played for Australia, Maroons, and obviously come from Melbourne, and just sort of learning how he sort of trained and how he went.
Kaufusi?
Yeah, Kaufusi, yeah. How he sort of trained and how he went about it, and I think I was talking to him one day, and he was talking about like he sort of debuted late. I think he wasn't like a young gun coming up. Like I think he was at Cowboys, and he was just playing, and then he got his shot, and I think in his first year he said he only played a couple games for Cowboys, and he went to Storm, and I think he played a whole year, and the next year he played like Queensland or something. So just to like sort of learn and pick how he trains and how he looks after his body. And Will Hopewadi's another one. Bro, he's still fit as, bro.
Really?
Like, yeah, he came in with an injury, hamstring injury, and he had to get it right for the game and stuff. But just how he trains, and he's like a full-on Christian, bro. Like, he's one of those ones that don't talk shit, and he actually lives by it. And it's like we have a team drink up, and he's there, like he's there for the whole time, but doesn't drink. Like if someone doesn't drink, they'll be like, oh no, fuck, I don't want to be there, and everyone's having a good time, and I'll just stay at home. But no, just his professionalism, and because we've got the same manager, and I've always used to train with him a bit. Coogee Stairs, my manager does Coogee Stairs, and just how he trained and how fit he was, his diet, and how he went on his mission.
At the height of his career, like
at his peak, when he was young,
crazy, man.
Was able to do that and still come back. Went for like a couple of years, and he still came back, and he was fit as he was, still gun, and it's just sort of like, and he's killing it off the field, like with investments and stuff. So and obviously Jace as well, how he
the big dog,
right? He's probably one of the best I've played with.
Yeah,
I remember. We versed him at the end of the year against Cowboys. Yeah, he took a run in the middle of the field, and he took it like he did a beeline to me, and I was like, fuck. And bro, I was like, and I remember holding him, bro, and I was screaming at Camo. I was like, get his legs, bro.
People, the amount, it's like some players have like 1 or 2 seasons where they may like just tear a comp apart. Like he has done it for so long, bro. Like so long, so destructive, and you can't defend it because he's too powerful and his footwork's too good.
Like when the team's like just like needs something, bro, he just like
does it.
Like he just like he tells you to move out of the way. He's like fuck, like he wants to carry, and you just like obviously got to move out of the way.
Yeah, 100%.
He just takes a carry, bro, and like he's blowing, and then he just takes a carry, and he has bang bang, and he makes like a half break. Like fuck, bro, I don't know how he does it, bro.
100%. Like I would love for scientists to test his cardio on that. He's too big to be that fit.
Bro, and he's ripped, like his legs are massive. Like I don't know how he breaks the laws of physics or some shit.
Mate, honestly, it's crazy. It's crazy. So with the World Cup, like, was it like not a strange feeling, because I'm sure you're really proud for the Samoan, Polynesian boys and that, but was it like also like we could have done that as well? Was it a mixture of two things?
Yeah, obviously, we wanted to win, and we wanted to be the team, to give Australia a crack, but. Looking back on it, fuck, like no one thought that like back in 2019 Tonga would beat Australia, and even now like after Samoa got pumped by England, they flew under the radar, and fuck, they were just, I don't know how people wrote them off when if you look at their lineup, bro, fucking hell.
Gun lineup.
They were like, just like us, like, fuck, stacked on paper. And, that was always going to be a mad game, like us. And, if it was, like, I always thought, like, if it was one of us to go to the final, like, I'd rather it be one of us.
Yeah, for sure.
Not another team. And
Yep.
it's just different when you're Pacific Islander and because there's just so much, like, the culture just is so proud of you. And, when you play, like, back in Tonga and back in Samoa, they probably, they feel like they're wearing the jersey too. So it's just a different feeling, bro. Like, I haven't played for Australia, but I don't know if the feeling's different. I don't know. Yeah, it's just mad. Like, it's mad to see Samoa, like, get up there. And, now it puts more pressure on the top tier people like Australia and New Zealand. They can't sort of relax now. We're coming and, we're only getting better. There's young people coming up, and bro, he's a gun.
He's a gun. He's like, 18?
Bro, he's a weapon.
And that's a really exciting thing for the two things that I think are really exciting for Tonga. And I don't mean this like disrespectfully at all, but like I feel like Tonga of yesteryear, when you play bad, you just get pumped.
Yeah.
Like whereas I feel like the fact that you didn't play that good this World Cup, but you still managed to get the job done, that's a sign of a good side.
Yeah.
And so like that's really exciting, and also like to have Katoa in the halves coming through at such a young age. I can't remember the last time Tonga had such a good, arguably the next best 7 that's in the comp coming through. Like that's exciting.
Fuck, bro, I reckon it'll be the next big thing. Like how he trains, how he like. He's got like a mentality of like sort of an older bloke, and fuck, like he's agile, fit, like he's ball playing. Yeah, because I was on the other side of him, so at training, like I used to mark up against him, and fuck, you have to think like 24/7, bro. Like he's doing no looks, like dummies, like the way he ball plays, just you don't really see people like that at that age doing it.
No way. And the way he squares people up.
Yeah, you can't do nothing. So that's exciting, and it's sort of good that the World Cup is sort of a year earlier now, like 3 years away. So and still got Amon as well. Yeah, and Manasseh's brother. From Manly.
Yep.
But yeah, he's a 5'8" and he's killing it.
So good, man.
So it's gonna be
just like the next 10 years you've got for you guys is just it's going to be so different, I reckon. Like it's just that's the one area, like probably your forward pack's always been big, strong, mobile, all that kind of stuff. Backs, just the halves has just been a bit light. But it's really interesting though, because like for all these years, like as an Aussie, you'd go, I think like Samoa and Tonga, like they just maybe not have the halves. But what's really interesting though is you look at the Australian forward pack now that a lot of the Polynesians are playing for Samoa and Tonga. You're going, ooh, the Australian forward pack is quite light. Yeah. And so it's interesting to see like now Australia has to deal with that kind of
it's that problem. So it's mad for the international game. Like makes it more interesting. Like because I remember back when I used to watch, like I never used to watch the warm up games and that. Just watch the final because it used to be always NZ in Australia. Yeah. But now you can watch all the games and it's actually mad. And it's good that all the gun players are spaced out, like different countries, and the world's just getting behind rugby league, which is good to see. Yeah,
I mean, think about the positive impact that Tonga run had, and then you add in the Samoa one. Like, how many young Samoa and Tongan kids that were going to play rugby union now play rugby league because of what's happened over the last few years?
It's mad.
Anyway, take us back to a young fella, bro. Obviously, grew up in Burwood. Yeah. And was Sonny Bill and Willie Mason, were they your go-to guys that you like watching growing up?
Yeah, so I grew up about 5 minutes away from Belmore Oval, where they trained, and I was a Bulldog supporter growing up, like a diehard one. Yeah, Sonny Bill was my like massive idol, bro. I see him at the beach a few times.
Shredded out of his mind,
bro. Like
he's an Adonis,
bro. He's like a god, bro.
100%. He's chiseled. It's ridiculous.
I don't know how he does it. Like it looks like he's never had a Big Mac in his life. Like he's never had any fried food, bro. I was like, fuck that.
I've said this story before, but I played him in one of his last games in 2008, before he left or whatever. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was then. Anyway, so like I did a kick return, and like he was in the line or whatever, and I just used a bit of footwork, and I just kind of found my front. Anyway, then he was like in the tackle, he was like, run it straight, you cat. And so the next kick return, I was like, fuck, I want to see what it feels like. I want to get spot. Like I want to see what it feels like. So I'm like, GM myself up. Nah, I stepped to the last second like a cat.
He would have been abusing him.
Oh man,
fuck that.
So I'm
You gotta be
running straight
mentally
at you,
ill, bro, if you want to run at him.
Oh, bro. I was like 85 kilos. I'm getting fucking...
Oh, bro,
I might have died. I might have died.
Yeah, bro.
So yeah, like so Sonny Bill and Willie Mason, obviously someone that you kind of like looked up to. Did you did you go to the games and that growing up?
Oh,
Doggies
yeah.
Games?
We always went to Doggies games and training and that, and they used to do their recovery at Canterbury Pool. And my mum's a swim coach and she used to coach there, so I used to like sort of sneak in and just watch him. Yeah, looking back on it, and then like I versed him like in his last year at the Roosters.
Yeah.
Fuck, bro. I remember that's when my first year, 2020. That's when I was playing like front row. I'd come on and play front row, and I remember we scored, and he was on the sideline. And bro, I remember I was at the kick return and I was just watching the screen, bro, and I was like, "Fuck, please don't come on." And then he came on, bro, and he went straight to my side where they're kicking it.
Oh shit!
And bro, I'm going fuck, and then like as the kick's going, bro, I'm still looking at the big screen because I'm just looking at him because the big screen's on him.
Yeah,
I was looking at him, bro, and I'm like, "Fuck," I'm like, "Bro." What? And I remember I looked like as soon as I got the ball, I looked at him, bro, and I did the biggest like left foot, and I ran straight to the middle. I was like, "Fuck, no, I ain't gonna get tackled by him, bro." I was like, "Fuck."
You don't add the highlight reel,
Yeah,
bro.
nah, bro. I was like, "Fuck that," and I was like, and I remember I got like a, like when you lay a line in the 10 meter line.
Yeah,
I went to lay a line, bro, and like looked straight at, and I think he went to launch at me, and I like just turned my back, bro. I was like, "Fuck that." I still want to get fucked by him, bro. Like, bro.
Mate, like I'm trying to think like we've had like guys like Tony Carroll that like real good techie through the middle, but like Sonny Bill, hasn't really been a guy since him. Maybe it's because the shoulder charge has changed or whatever, and there's been some big hits, but the amount of times he would whack blokes was
Like
just
connect good too.
So good, so good. He was a different level, bro. Different level. Was it bizarre though? Like again, what the year before you're a plumber in Resi's. Were you even training with? We'll get to it. But yeah, was it good to crazy to think? Fuck, I got the chance to play against Sonny Bill.
Yeah,
before he retired, kind of thing.
Yeah, that was mad. And there's I've a photo that like I'm running the ball and he's like there.
Yeah,
like trying to tackle me. Fuck yeah, that's mad, bro. Like it's just so weird how it works out. Like when you apply yourself and just have no fallback option but to live your dream and play for my country and then versing like my idol growing up. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's because like a lot of people watching, they like see you as a footy player and they sometimes, not all of them, but some people, they forget like you're just like them, like all the like insecurities or am I good enough, am I not good enough, and you're just like, I can't believe I'm here too sometimes, I can't believe that I got the chance to be where I'm at. Yeah,
there's even some games now, bro, like even when I play like finals and that, the last couple of years I've been like, fuck, like just don't fuck up, like, bro, like, yeah, just don't do anything like out of the ordinary. Just make your tackles, do your runs, and you always wonder like before the game, you're like, fuck, like is your like say my back row or something, like fuck, am I better than him or like something like that, and you're like, fuck, just I don't want to get put on show by him, like like you always have like sort of negative stuff that creeps in your mind, but as soon as the ball kicks off, it goes away anyway. So it's all good.
Anyway, take us back to as a young fella. So you're a Doggies fan, but you end up playing junior at South. How did that all come about?
So my dad grew up when he came from Tonga. He grew up like around Newtown and around there. So all of his mates in that sort of played for South Comp. So he obviously played with his mates in South Comp, and then he just played around South Comp and he played for a few teams. And then when it came to when I was playing football, he took me to Mascot Jets to play footy, and I never really knew why until like when I started playing first grade and that, and he told me like they were the best team growing up, but he never played for him. He played for all the other teams, but he fucking hated it. but they were so good. So he told me like he didn't want me to go to a shit team. I can just don't develop. So it was
like for an opportunity, pretty much, to make you the best you could be.
Yeah, and also like he didn't want me to sort of be because Canterbury and Power and all that, a lot of Islanders, and he sort of wanted to keep me out of a bit of trouble in that with all my mates, and so he took me to sort of people that I didn't know.
Out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, out of my comfort zone, because I was sort of a quiet kid growing up, like never used to talk, so he wanted me to sort of open up as well. So that's how it sort of came about, and from there I just always played at Mascot, and grew up. Still supported the Bulldogs all the way until like New South Wales Cup.
I swear.
Until I sort of crept in a little bit, met the boys and that, but always Doggy supporter growing up. Always, yeah. I still live in the area now. Like I still love the area that I live in, and that's how I sort of ended up over there. And yeah, he didn't really tell me till later, and he was like, "Yeah, fuck, I hated them," because he used to verse Cameron Murray's dad and that. Camo's dad and that. Yeah.
And you ended up playing with Cam at Mascot?
Yeah, and because his dad played for Mascot too, so.
No way.
Yeah, and he's like, his dad was a gun. And he's like,
that
they
makes
used to
sense.
always beat us, yeah. So he took me there and they were good, and just worked out that Cameron was there, and we some mad players, and my manager's son played there as well. That's how sort of my manager came about, and just sort of worked out well from there, and I played Rabbitohs juniors growing up, like 12s, 13s, the development and stuff, and just pretty much was lucky enough to stay there, and they believed in me from a young age. So yeah.
Did you make any of the rep sides?
It's played.
Oh yeah, look, there's some photos, bro.
Yeah, Cam and Keaon.
Oh yeah.
I'll put it up on the screen.
We'll put it up on the screen, but there's a photo of Cam, Keaon, and the other guys.
I think that was a Tommy Bishop shield. It's like sort of, I think it's maybe one team from each district or something. I think that was at Shark Park. I think when it was Shark Park, I think we beat Cronulla in the final. But
no way. How was that? 10?
Oh, fuck, I don't even know.
That's young, bro.
No teeth, bro. Yeah, fuck, I don't know.
That's young,
bro. Fuck, I don't know.
And so you've known Cam for that long?
Yeah, my first game I played with him. Yeah,
I swear.
Yeah. I think he played younger. Like I think I started when I was maybe 6 or 7.
Okay.
And I think he was playing like when he was 5 or something, or 4.
Probably playing when he was 2.
Fuck yeah, probably.
Making tackles when he was 2.
Yeah, tackling everything.
Okay, so did you make the rep sides and everything growing up, or just stayed within the Rabbitohs system?
Just stayed within the Rabbitohs system. Like I made development team, but I never made like school stuff. Yeah. Like CHS and all that sort of stuff. I never made that. Even in high school, I didn't get picked. Probably because I was a little bit skinnier and a little bit lighter and that, and SG ball Harold Mats, I was like a centre.
Yep.
So I was a little bit lighter, and
holy heck, it's like a big centre, bro.
Fuck yeah. So because I went to school at Ashfield, so they're CHS, and that when you try out there, like a lot of like the islands and that, and back then, like, fuck, I was scared. I was like tackling big boys and that. I was like, fuck, yeah. So that's probably why I didn't get picked. Yeah, didn't apply myself. And, when you play, when you do tries for school football and that, you got to get your hands on the ball. Like, you can't just stand on it.
Expect it to come to you.
You got to, like, apply yourself. And that's probably why I never got picked. And, I never got picked until Harold Mats, Rabbitohs, because I just fell into that.
Yep.
Played Harold Mats and then played SG Ball for Rabbitohs, but they were the only teams that I made, and I was lucky enough to play Origin 18s.
Okay.
Fuck, that was a stacked team, bro. Fuck, that
was. You look back, you would have. I
was like Pappenhausen, it was like Camo, Brody Jones, Payne, Emre Gula, Tom Starling,
holy
Kotrick. Yeah, we had a.
Did you get the win,
team, bro? Yeah, we won like 30-0, 36-0 or something.
Jesus, ruined my day, bro. Holy shit!
They had a stacked team too. They had like Corey Allen, that like Patrick Carrigan, like they had a stacked team.
The goat, Paddy Carrigan.
Oh fuck yeah, but our team was fucking.
It's funny, like when you're younger. I remember like the first, played soccer till I was like 17, pretty much, and so I had no interaction with rugby league at all.
Oh yeah.
Like I wasn't used to the size like the Polynesian boys and all that kind of stuff. I had no idea because I went to a Catholic school and I played soccer.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't play any club. So I literally hadn't interacted with any Polynesian boys or anything like that. Anyway, I remember we rocked up to Confraternity Shield and an actual footy side. So we were in the B comp and we were just there for fun, and I was just there to have fun with my mates. And this is in year 12, and we rocked up, and one of the A side teams rocked up, and it was all full of Polynesian boys covered in tats, rolling off with their shirts off. I was going, what the fuck? They're not fucking in year 12. What's going on here? I was like this little skinny, like tiny soccer player. I couldn't believe it, bro, how big they were. So I'm feeling you in regards to when you're younger and you see some of those boys are so big, bro. They're so massive, early.
Bro. Fuck, there's some kids, bro, that they're... Like, bro, if you look at Davey Miley, bro, he's like the one that plays Rabbitohs now. But he's been that size since he was 16, bro. Imagine trying to tackle that, bro. I'm
impossible.
Like, fuck. I don't know what they're feeding him now, bro.
100%,
it's all the Tongan food, bro. I don't know what it is,
100%. And I couldn't even believe, like, at this stage, like, as I said, I was at like a Catholic school, and like in my head was like, you don't get tattoos before you're 18. Like, that's insanity. Yeah. Bro, they were all just inked up, crazy shirts off. I was like so intimidated. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. It's like a confidence thing, bro. Like,
yeah.
Like, especially when they have like tattoos and that, like
Yeah.
they like it's like they like turn into GI or something when they have tattoos. They like turn into mad players, bro.
100%. Yeah. Anyway, so you make the Harold Mats. Like, at what point did you start to like kind of believe like, oh, like there might be a bit of a path here to me to play NRL?
When after SG Ball, when I played 20s when I was 17, just before my 18th birthday. So I was playing 3 years up. And my first game was against Power at Pertec. And that's probably like my first experience sort of playing bigger boys. Like, and sort of played the whole year 20s and that, and sort of realised like sort of I can sort of, you know, hold my
You're
own.
in the front row on the edge at this stage.
I was edge.
Yeah.
Oh, edge lock. Like,
Yeah.
Just sort of great confidence. And then sort of maybe, you know, when you play up a few years, like you sort of think you're it's all right, like you'll play NRL and you sort of, you know, get ahead of yourself. And I probably got complacent there for maybe a year or two. You know, there's a few games in my last year, in the last year 20s where I didn't play.
Yeah, wow.
I got dropped in that. So, and yeah, after school I got an apprenticeship doing plumbing and stuff, and that was some tough years, bro. Fuck, like training 20s after work and then going to reserve grade, then training as well. And
You're up at like 4,
bro,
and then you finish at like 3. You're rolling in, getting
Straight.
toweled up.
stinky, like sweaty.
Yeah.
Oh, bro, like I was working out west, bro. I was working out Rouse Hill, and I used to have to leave at like 5:30 or 5:45 to beat the traffic because I start at 7 or just before 7, and I used to wake up like 5, get myself ready, shower and that, go to work till from 7. You know, when you're an apprentice, bro, fuck you. And you're a plumber, bro, you're freaking digging holes or jackhammering or something, bro.
All the physical labour, pretty much.
It's all you, bro. I was doing that from, I think, lunch was like at 11. So it was 7 to 11, bro, just jackhammering, digging holes every day, bro. And
You're
then,
stinging
like,
for the 11
Oh,
o'clock
bro,
smoke,
and then it comes and that like half an hour break goes so quick, bro.
You barely finish your food.
Bro, and then you like walk back to your work site so like slow, you just try and make it go.
Yeah.
So and then I work till 3, and then like training would start. So we used to have at gym at 3:30. So used to like just rock up whenever because everyone had work at different times. Field was at 5, so I used to drive from work at 3. It would take about an hour to get to Redfern. So do gym at 4, do my gym, and I was buggered, and then go onto the field, get pumped.
Yeah.
And that I reckon like reserve grade, like preseason is just like, it's different. Like it's so boring and so like you're just running. Like you're not doing touching no ball, doing nothing. You're just trying to get
school.
It's old school, because not a lot of the coaches are like old school, so they just like running. You're doing like laps and laps.
Yep.
I was doing that for like 2-3 years, like non-stop, bro. So I was getting home at like maybe 8:30. Have a shower, have dinner, talk to my parents, watch TV, and then go to bed and just do that.
And you probably weren't eating right too. You're probably eating crap.
Like you try, like you do like maybe like a few days, and you're like,
I'm starving.
Too tired, starving, and you go buy something from the Westfield.
100%. Tough enough without all the training.
You know,
being a tradie without all the training.
Yeah, but people don't understand how hard like just being a tradie is.
It's just
you go through so much shit, bro.
Monotonous. Same thing every day.
Oh, it's repetitive and like as you said, like before, like because I used to work on apartments. So like they used to be like maybe a year and a half to build. You're just doing the same thing for maybe like 2 months. Then you change to something else. You're like, doing something else. Then same thing for 2 months.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the same thing, bro. And like I remember I was thinking to myself, bro, I'm like, like I don't want to do this. Like I used to like go to class late for like TAFE and that. I used to like my dad used to drop me off, and I used to like catch train and stuff, and I used to be like, fuck, I don't just rock up late.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, I don't do that, bro. And I was like, it sort of came a time where I was like, fuck, if I want to play football, I got to apply myself like just one preseason, knuckle down and fuck, just give it my all. And if that doesn't happen, then fuck, whatever. Because I'm like a big believer in like you do your best, and then whatever the result is, like you just live with it. Like,
100.
It's like no point stressing over it. So so there was a point in time where I was playing sort of decent in reserve grade, and my manager was able to get me just a preseason with the Bunnies. And fuck, I was like, oh, yeah, sweet. So that time came, and I was doing a lot of training with him. Coogee Stairs, he loves Coogee Stairs, and doing a lot of stuff by myself with him and getting myself ready for preseason. So I remember November 1, I think we started.
Yeah.
And fuck, I was like ready for it, and fuck, you know, when you feel like you're ready for preseason, you're fucking not.
You're not
like,
even
still,
close.
You're not, bro. Like, bro, I remember I was like, fuck, I'm pretty fit. Like, I feel good, bro. I remember I was at the back, bro. I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, you see, like all the fit guys just taking off. Like, you stay with them for one lap, and you're like, fuck, it's all good, and then you just like hit the wall, and you're like, fuck. Oh,
and you don't realize like they might go, all right, boys, we've got MAS or whatever, and like it's 7 minutes of 30 on, 10 off, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And you're like, all right, I just got to get through the 7 minutes. But you don't realize you've got 4 sets of that.
Oh.
And you're going, oh my God. Like,
you have 30-second drink break. And you have like your mouth so dry. Like,
and you're going, oh, I got to do this all tomorrow as well.
It's 40 degrees.
Yeah,
like,
bro, 100%.
Yeah,
like
bro.
The amount of times, like, obviously, as you know well now, like you get used to it.
Yeah.
But the first one,
bro,
you don't know what's going on. But did you push through that first week or two and then just kind of?
Yeah, so I was doing all this training and that in the before the preseason, and fuck, I still came back like fat and stuff. Like I remember, like I got a breach notice for my skinnies. Yeah, bro. I was like, bro, like, I think I had to be like in season targets, like you have to be like, I don't know, 80 or something, under 100, and I was like 170 or something.
Just didn't know the right things to eat. Yeah,
probably, and like I was just eating sort of. I was probably overeating. I was probably eating all right. Like not too bad, like I can improve, but I was probably just eating too much.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, then I was in the fat club. So we're in 6 o'clock in the morning.
Wednesdays?
Every day, bro. Fat club every day, bro.
Really?
Yeah. So we used to this was when Siebes was coach.
So they've made it even worse now. It was just Wednesday for us on our day off. They'd bring us in at 6 o'clock.
Bro, Wednesdays was like so what happened was every day fat club 6 a.m. So you have to wear a heart rate monitor and you have to stay above 70.
170. We'd be one. What do you say?
Whatever.
170.
Percent of your heart rate or something.
Oh, 70. Okay, yeah.
So it's like a yellow zone.
Actually, no, I think 170 might be a bit too fucking crazy.
Yeah. So stay in that for I think half an hour, 40 minutes, and that was Fat Club. It was still pretty hard.
Yeah.
So we used to shower, eat whatever, do field, get pumped, bro, absolutely pumped, and then gym, get pumped, and then wrestle. This was a Tuesday. This was a Tuesday day.
Yeah.
So Monday, every day was the same except for Tuesday. Tuesday was wrestles.
Yeah.
So by the end of it, bro, you're like, you're lying when you get home, bro. You're lying in bed, and you're like, fuck, bro. Should I just stop? Like, fuck, I could just be digging holes and like just cruising and just like, bro, this is fucked. And you wake up next morning, and you're like,
you got to do it again,
bro. You got to do it again. And then Wednesday was like the easy day, so it was like a half day. So used to be hypertrophy, which was gym, and then cardio. But all the jacked up dudes got to do hypertrophy because they're fat, their skinnies, all that were all good.
Yeah, okay.
So they didn't have to do cardio. But that cardio, because at Redfin we have a hot box.
Yeah.
And the oxygen drops, bro. And there's like, I can't remember. It's like all the islanders, bro. Like it's all the islanders, bro. It's all the big boys. Like there's probably, I reckon, 12 of us in there, like, and the doors closed.
Oh my
bro,
god,
it's
stinking,
bro, and it's that hot you can't breathe, and you can't see inside because it's so foggy.
Yeah,
bro. And we're like doing like the trainer back then, bro. He was like, we're doing like Tour de France and shit. Like we'd always have to do partners, like do like 5K on, 5K off, and like race.
Yeah,
and then like first to like 40,000 Ks or something, like they'd finish. Or the first 2 or something, and then the bottom 2 would have to do something like a finisher or something. So like we'd have to be like, say for example, on the the
grinder.
What do you call it? Yeah, the
watt bike thing.
Yeah, watt bike thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, so there used to be one there, one here, like the partners, and there used to be a roller in the middle.
Yeah.
And you know how it's wind, like the wind comes out. You used to have to verse the other person, and whatever one, like the roller had to go to the other side. It was like tug of war.
So you can never just cruise.
Oh, bro, and we used to be like, fuck, like, it'd be like 10 seconds. Bro, it used to go for like 15 seconds, like a minute. And you're there like, and the thing's staying still, bro. And you're trying your hardest.
Man.
And bro, that was an easy day, Wednesday.
Holy.
Oh, bro, and that was cracked, bro. But that training, like, set me up, bro.
Yeah.
Like, got me fit. Like, I got my skinnies down to like, I think my best, like 60-something. Like,
yeah. And
my
then
weight was
like,
at the best.
I'm never coming back high.
Yeah, that was good. Like, yeah, it's sort of easier to maintain when you're sort of fit, like, because you're happy with yourself, you know what to eat, and and then I had another year of reserve grade because I just had a preseason, so I had a reserve grade training, year, and I was playing well. I got picked in the Origin reserve grade or whatever.
Yeah,
and then that's when Wayne was coach. He came in for Siebes, and Then I was lucky enough to Wayne gave me a call and said he'd like me to be 18th man for one game. Sammy was sort of like Sammy did his shoulder, and he ended up playing Sammy. I was like, bro, holy shit! Like that was my first like sort of introduction to like a game. They played at Bank West. They versed I can't remember Para. They versed Para. And I was 18th man, bro. And I was like, he called me in the morning at breakfast, and I was just eating breakfast, and then he's like, oh hey mate, what are you doing tonight? I'm like, oh. Nah, just gonna watch the boys play. And he was like, we be ready for like to be 18th man. I was like, fuck, what do I need to do? And he's like, no, let's bring your boots just in case. Because Sammy's shoulder's playing up. Like, yeah. So I was like, fuck, what the fuck? And I was like, I don't know if I tell my parents or not. I was like, fuck, I don't know if I'm playing tonight or something. And then I remember I was, fuck, I don't know what to do. I didn't eat the whole day. I was so nervous. I was like, why? I was just, fuck. I got to the game, and then everyone was all right, like, you know, they do their final checks and that. And then, Wayne told me, he's like, because when you're 18th man, Wayne tells you before they warm up, and he's like, oh no, you don't need to get ready. You know, some coaches like
make
18th
you warm
man,
up
just to save the hassle and that. So he told me, he's like, no, just
chill.
He's like, just chill, but I want you to sort of be in there amongst it and sort of experience what it's like to play. Fuck, and then it was mad, bro. I remember it was packed out, and that was sort of my first thing. Then I went back to reserve grade. Then I ended up doing my shoulder. I did my shoulder, had a surgery on it, so I was out for
full Rico or just
4 to 6 months.
Oof.
So I remember then when I did that, they asked me, because then I got a top 30 contract the next year because I was playing all right. They asked me, if you can come in for your rehab and you will train and stuff. So I was injured, and I was doing like another preseason because I was just running on the side, like non-stop, no contact, just running. So that helped me get prepared for the preseason. And then, that preseason came, and that's when I sort of realized, like, fuck, I'm close to like playing now, like my debut. Because I'd sub into the, you know, they're starting and team,
and you can get a vibe for where you're at.
So I was sort of, you know, like they'd be like, oh, swap. At the time, it was me and Ethan Lowe. Like, oh, just have a turn, blah, blah, have a turn. There was a few days where on the whiteboard, they'd write your name, like they put the name of the starting team and the other team. And my name was in there sometimes. And I remember I used to train hard every single day. Like, didn't want to, And then season came around, but that's when it was COVID. So they played, I can't remember, I think they played maybe Sharks or something round one, or Broncos or something, and then the COVID hit. So then we didn't play for, I don't know, we didn't play from March till like June or July. And then we played.
When that happened, were you like, fuck, I've got so much momentum. Like, is this going to happen?
Yeah, I was pretty cut. I was on less than minimum and matches. So if I played. So that happened. And then it was just lucky enough that our trainer was sort of doing one-on-one sessions at Coogee Oval for the boys to help him, the ones that couldn't train by themselves. So I went and did that every second day or something. And, you know, Rabbitohs gave us gym equipment to use at home. So I was doing that. So I was staying like relatively fit. And then we came in, I think maybe a month or something before the game actually started, and we were training as a team and stuff. And then I think they played one game against Roosters, and they got beat. I think they got beat by the Roosters. And then like I didn't think I was going to play. Like, if anything, I thought I was going to play maybe back end of the year, you know, before finals when people are resting. And then then they versed Roosters. Then we came into training and stuff. And then we're warming up and stuff. And then it was so weird. Like, I was just doing like high knees or something, and then like Wayne's standing here, and I'm just doing high knees, and we had to change drills, so we're walking across. And as I change drills, he goes, oh, come here. I was like, oh yeah, and he goes, I'm thinking about I might play this week. And I was like, oh yeah, and I was like,
what do I say to that?
I was like, oh, okay, so, and that's what he said.
Oh no!
I was like, fuck, like, and then the whole training session, bro, I'm like, fuck, am I playing or not playing?
Yeah.
Because when you first find out, you're like, fuck, I want to tell my parents.
100%.
Yeah, that's what he said to me, bro. I was like, he's like, oh yeah, I might pick you this week. I was like,
playing mind games.
I was like, fuck, and then
skeletal.
Yeah, then the next day, like, so I went home, relaxed a bit, and came back next day. Then named the team, and he named the team. And fuck, bro, I didn't realize we were versus Melbourne that week.
Oh,
and I was like, bro, are you kidding me? And I was like, normally when you debut, you versus, you know, bottom teams. And like, you know,
100%.
Fuck, bro, I played Melbourne, bro, in Melbourne too.
Oh man,
but it was COVID.
Cam Smith, Melbourne too.
Yeah, he played. Yeah, but it was COVID, so there was no fans in the crowd. So it was pretty shit. But no, I remember I went home that day and I was so excited to tell my parents, bro, because fuck my parents, you know, they've been there since day one. Fucking my dad was at work, but my mum was at. She just came home from work and she was about to go work again. And I didn't know how to tell her. Like, I wanted to tell them together, but then, like, I was so excited. And then I remember, bro, like, I was like, just don't cry, bro. And then she walked in and I was like, oh, mum. And she was, oh, yeah. I'm like, oh, I'm playing this week. And fuck, I like lost it. Eh?
Yeah.
We both lost it, bro. And
Yeah,
like, I still remember it. It's pretty, gives me goosebumps, bro.
Nah, it's hectic.
I reckon that's the best, like, thing. Like, to tell your parents, bro. Fuck.
Like, when you think, like, bro, your mum's about to go back out to work.
Yeah.
So that's how hard she's working to give you guys a better life, and your father as well, you know?
Yeah, bro, fuck, it's mad. Like, and then, like, when you find out, like, that's just your dream come true. Like, and then I was just lying there in bed, bro, and I was just thinking about everything. Like, fuck, my parents done everything for me. Like, my dad, bro, like, my dad was working, like, fuck, two, 3 jobs. Like, he's a youth worker now, and he used to do security back in the day. So he'd go from his youth work to security. So he'd do security overnight and then come back home, pick me up for training, and then take me. So like he'd be like that, like, bro, and he like wouldn't even complain. Like he'd tell me, like, he's like, oh yeah, I'll be home, be ready, so I'll come take you.
Wow.
And I'd feel bad for him, and I'd be like, no, it's all right, I'll catch train, catch bus.
Yeah.
Like I'd catch that sometimes, and that, but fuck, bro, like he'd work out west, bro. Like he'd work at St. Mary's and stuff, and he'd like, so he was a youth worker. He'd like come from work, pick me up, take me to training, wait at training, take me back home, and then go back to work. I just had a baby now, and like before I had a kid, bro, I'm like, fuck, how could you be bothered doing that, bro?
Yeah.
It just shows like, and I do that for my daughter too, like, but like you do anything, and it just shows like how, like, am I so lucky to have like parents that, you know, do anything for me, and, you know, lucky enough that they're still together. Yeah. You know, and they've sort of just laid a platform for me to be whatever I wanted to be, and you know, my mum, she was the type that sort of like kept me at home, like didn't want me to go, sort of like always. She's like, you're an athlete, you shouldn't be going out clubbing and all this stuff. And
which is, it's true.
Yeah, and like getting drunk and that, and like she'd always be on my back about stuff, like and just being immature and stuff. So she'd always be on my back about stuff, and she'd always tell me like, you'll thank me later. Yeah, you'll thank me later, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. And then, bro, like when at the time, like you always think like, fuck, you're annoying. Like,
you're filthy. Like everyone else is doing it. Why can't I just have fun?
And then like, because my dad's like the chilled one, and my mum's like the one, like the vocal one that would always tell you. My dad would be like you can do whatever, bro, but just remember, like, you have to sacrifice stuff to be where you are. Yeah. Because like he was a good player growing up, but he chose the other path. Yeah. Okay. Sort of thing, and he sort of learned. And he played with some guns, bro. He used to tell me some Indigenous players that he played with, bro, that were like, bro, he reckons they were better than Greg Inglis and all this sort of stuff, but they just went off the rails.
There's been players in Q Cup that I came through with that. For example, Ben Barber's old brother Aaron Barber was unbelievable, bro. Like one of the best Q Cup players to ever play. He was so good, bro. Really? And I think he ended up playing maybe one NRL game, but it just didn't work out for him for whatever reason. I'm not sure what the reason was, but he was incredible, bro. Yeah. So they're out there, bro. 100% they're out there.
That's what I meant. Like, and then when you're younger, bro, everything just goes in one ear out the other. And I'm like, But it's just when you think back about how much your parents actually do for you, like they do a lot, man.
Mate.
Like you can't comprehend how much they actually do for you, and even just taking you to a game, like that goes so far. Like I know some players that when I used to play back in the day, where their parents like wouldn't even come to their game, bro. Yeah. And like I wouldn't know any different. My parents would always be there. Like when I was playing for the Bears, because the Bears were the feeder club for Rabbitohs, my dad would drive me to North Sydney in peak hour traffic, bro. Like, and he's so tired, like he's falling asleep on the wheel. Yeah. And he's like, I used to like always like have to like keep knocking him to wake him up. I'd be like, wake up, and then like he'd sit there, he'd have a nap in the car while I trained, and drive me back. Like just stuff like that, bro. I was like, fuck, like, and just all of how that all happened to like help me get where I am, and like you can't do anything to repay them. Like
you really can't.
The smallest thing you can do is like achieve your dream. So, because then that sort of gives them a sense of relief. Like
that's like the Tongan jersey when that gets on you. I'm sure your dad and your mum are sitting there going,
yeah, bro. I remember my whole family. Because my dad hates crowds, bro. Like he hates like packed crowds. So he's like, nah, fuck. Like, nah, I don't want to go to New Zealand. It'll be too crazy. Yeah. So like my Tonga family set up like a projector. Yeah. And at their house in Sydney, and like had a barbecue and that for the game and that. And bro, like I remember my sister videoing my dad, like seeing me on the TV. Fuck, I still like get emotional. Like he was crying, and my dad never cries, bro.
Yeah.
Bro, it's like I've never seen my dad cry. Even when his dad, like his younger brother died, like he never cried or anything like that. But yeah, it's just crazy. Like, fuck. And that's why I always wanted to wear the Tongan jersey first, because my dad. So yeah,
that's mate. I'm feeling like similar situation with my father. Like you don't realize when they're doing it for you, you're just like, oh, thanks so much, but you're not really thinking of the sacrifice. Like also like you think about, okay, like let's say he didn't have a son, maybe his career would have been better. He could have pursued things that he wanted to pursue, but he's not, because he's taken us to footy or to soccer or whatever. My dad was similar in the way he would work up in Brisbane, so he'd wake up 4 a.m.
Oh yeah.
So I lived on the Gold Coast.
Oh, so he drive to Brisbane.
He'd drive to Brisbane. He'd work all day,
and then come back.
Drive an hour and a bit back, pick me up, and then I was playing for the Queensland Raw, like reserve grade at the side for soccer. He'd drive me back up, sit in the car like your father.
Yeah.
And then drive me back home, and he'd also be falling asleep.
Yeah,
like by the time he got in the door, like he was like, just doing those sides. So it's incredible, like what our parents do for us, man. Absolutely. What do you remember from your debut? You put your jersey on.
Oh yeah. Fuck, what do I remember? I just remember because it was like because back in COVID it was in and out. Like couldn't stay overnight.
Yeah, okay.
So we flew out. And that was my first time at Amy Park too. So I remember we got there. You get there like a few hours earlier, and we had to sit in like the corporate box, like because we had to eat and stuff, because we couldn't go into the public. And I remember just taking so many videos of like Amy Park. I was like, fuck, bro, this is mad. Like I've never been here before. I was like taking so many Snapchats and that. Like, this is mad. And then I kept looking at the clock, bro. I was trying to sleep. I remember because it had that beanbags and that, and I was trying to sleep, bro, and like I fall asleep for a little bit, like I doze off, and I wake up and I look at the time and I'm like, fuck. Try to go back to bed, and then wake up, and then I'm like, oh fuck, it's time. And then I don't really get too hyped up for games and stuff. Even my debut, I wasn't really like sort of, maybe because there was no crowd involved, and maybe, but then sort of putting on your jersey and that, and then seeing like your name and that on your jersey, like debut and stuff.
And the players, you got Cody Walker there.
Fuck, you got.
I don't know if was Trell playing then.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, like some superstars,
Fuck, bro, and
then you've got Melbourne Storm
and that. Yeah, Melbourne Storm, and then I remember I walked out because I walked up the ramp, walked out, no crowd and that, so whatever. And I was on the bench, and then I remember. I think I like watched Cameron Smith for like 5 minutes straight, bro. Because I was like, fuck. I was like, what the fuck?
That's him.
I'm about to fucking verse him.
Yeah.
Bro, and I remember, fuck. It was pretty shit debut, to be honest. Like, I think I was just too overhyped. Like, I remember when I first came on my first hit up, bro. Like, I came on with about 20 minutes left, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And I remember, because Jaden Sewell played. Yeah. He's my best mate. And he was telling Cookie, he's like, Cookie, make sure you get him the ball first run, because we had a scrum. Yeah. So we had a scrum, back had a run.
Yeah.
And then I think another run, and then I was like hyped up, bro, to run to just run. Yeah. And I remember I hyped up, bro, and I ran. I was so hyped, bro. I got a fucking forward pass. Oh. And I was like, bro, what the fuck? And then I remember
was that your first run?
My first run, NRL ever. Because like I was like, because Cookie like took a step. Like he didn't give it off the deck.
Yeah, okay.
Because it was like quick play the ball, so I didn't like. So I was just too hyped. I was looking at like everyone. Yeah. And Brandon Smith was in front of me, and I was like, "Fuck, I'm just gonna try to run as hard as I can."
Yeah.
And then, and then I was forward pass. So I was like, "Fuck." I was like, "Fuck." And then I remember, I was just like, "Fuck," that deflated me. Yeah. And then like it was their ball on the line, bro. And I remember it was pretty crazy. Like, so I was on Jerome Hughes' side, but I remember I went to rush him. And he snapped my ankle, bro. Like he went off his right.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck. I went like that, and it was like right on the try line, bro. Like 5 minutes out.
Yeah.
And bro, the only person that came and saved the try was Camo, bro. Like,
of course,
bro. And he's done that so many times in Mascot. And he's done it in my debut. Like he saved my ass, bro. Like,
no way.
Bro, if you watch, he did like he should have scored. Like it was a ball and all tackle, bro, in goal. Like wrapped him up. And I remember when he was on the ground, bro, I'm like, fuck, thank you, bro. Thanks, bro. I remember I was just telling you, bro. I was like, thanks, bro. And then we got the ball, and then I had a run and stuff, and then my first tackle, bro, was fucking Olam.
Oh, right.
Bro, and I was like...
He's just a unit, bro.
Oh, bro, and he's on the other side too, so maybe he like thought, like, fuck, he's a rookie there, so I'll run at him. Yeah. I remember he ran at me, and I remember I put my... Because I was like probably 7-8 kilos what I am lighter than I am now.
Yeah, okay, yeah,
So
yeah.
I wasn't that strong.
Yeah.
I remember I was like, fuck, I'm just gonna try to put everything I can. I put everything I can into it, and I fucking cooked my shoulder, bro. I was like, bro, this is the worst debut ever, bro. And then
It sucks, man.
I was like, what the fuck? And then then we lost the game and stuff, but it's a fucking memorable one.
Yeah, 100%. Like against the Storm too. Like,
That's what I mean. Yeah, not many people debut against the Storm.
and you get to play against Keaon Smith and just see the smoothness at which he controls the game.
The whole game, bro.
The whole game.
Yeah.
He has it on a string, everything.
Bruh. And I remember after the game, he's like, oh, congratulations, man. I'm like, oh, fuck, thanks. Fuck, thanks. I'm like,
Thanks, bro. And like seeing like Munster, if he was playing, like the way he moves and
I don't know if he played. I think maybe he played. Or I don't know, maybe he was injured or something. But I remember. Oh, did he?
played.
Oh, I don't think Nelson played, but
Oh, you're thinking about Big Nelson.
bruh,
but you're
I was
going,
like,
oh,
holy
no.
fuck, bro. Like, the first 2 times I think we versus Melbourne, he didn't play. He was injured.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, bro. Seeing seeing you or something like post like, oh, he's out for the week. I'm like, oh, fuck. Oh, holy shit, bro. Fuck,
Glad I could do that for you, bro.
Yeah, bro. Fucking then, yeah. Oh yeah, and then also from the debut, bro. I remember that's when my missus was cutting my hair at the time, and I remember you messaged me.
Yeah, about your autograph.
Yeah, and I was like, fuck, that's pretty mad. I made it.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck, bro. And then I was like, fuck. And I remember I told her, I got it while I was getting the haircut, and I was like, fuck, wait, hold up, stop the haircut. I need to do my signature. Then send it back, and I was like, fuck. Yeah, that's what I remember. That's pretty crazy. And then
I should still do them. So for
that was actually mad. Yeah.
yeah, for people listening, anyone that would debut, I'd message them and say, I'm going to do like a player card for you.
Yeah.
And then post it to like Bloke. I should probably get back to that.
They were actually mad. They were original, bro.
They're
mad.
cool. I liked them. I thought it was, again, it's like a digital version kind of thing. And you can always kind of keep it. I might do it for 2023.
Like an NFT or something, bro.
100%, bro. 100%.
Yeah.
And so you ended up playing, like, it couldn't have been that bad because you played 14 games that year.
Yeah. Fuck, I got dropped after that game, but I got dropped, bro, and I was like, oh, you know when you debut, you're like happy as, and then you're like, oh, fuck. But then when they're like, so they versed like Roosters, and then when Roosters were like top, and then Storm, and they had like an easy run for like 8 games. And I remember like after 2 weeks, I was like, fuck, I'm not getting another crack, because like when they're winning and that, they're not going to change the team.
Yeah.
I went through a little bit of a rough patch where I was like sort of not training hard and that. Like I was just whatever.
Get disappointed. You kick stones.
Yeah, because at the time we weren't playing any games either in reserve grade.
Yeah,
like,
okay.
So like after captain's run, we'd have to have our own game.
Oh.
So it'd be like 5-on-5 within 10 meters, just running straight, like pretty much rolling rock, like for like 20 minutes just to get game fitness in case we play.
Yeah.
So I remember I was like, oh, bro, whatever. And then Jason Demetrio had a chat with me, and he see me and he goes, look, bro, like I know it'll be hard at the moment, and you know, you're only young at the time, and he goes, but I do see you in the future of my plans, like, because that's when he was announced as coach, and he's like, I see you in the future, and you're definitely going to be a part of what I want in the future. Yeah, that's pretty mad. But at the same time, I was like, fuck, I don't want to have to wait like 2 years or a year. Fuck, I want to play now. And then my time came, and my next game was against fucking Raiders, and they were fucking the top as well. We played in Canberra, where there was a little bit of crowd. That's when crowd was coming back. Okay. I think my first run as well, I dropped the ball. So fuck, bro. And then fuck. And then I remember. So before the game, when he announced the team, Wayne named me and whatever, and because I was training all the time at back row and whatever, and or maybe this was after Raiders game. Yeah, maybe it was after Raiders game, after I dropped the ball or something. And he goes, what's wrong with you? I was like, oh fuck. I was like, oh, to be honest, like I just don't want to fuck up. I don't want to get dropped again. And he goes, well, I'll tell you the reason why you're not playing back row at the moment is because I don't trust you. Fair enough. And he goes, I want you to play middle, so you don't have to think about nothing. Like you just run the ball, make your tackles, and that's it. Like you don't have to do offloads, no little pass or anything. Just do your job. That's it. Like you play 20, 30 minutes, do your job, and you're not going to get dropped. I'll just keep it simple. And then my next game, I think, was against Dragons, and I remember I played ball, and he was happy as with me, and he said, just keep doing that, bro, and like you won't get dropped. And then I played the rest of the year. Played the prelim against Penrith that 2020, that first year when we got beat. When Reno kicked that 40-20 and his fucking big toe was on the line.
Oh, bro. Every single Queensland celebrations right now has Bloke on special. So if you're in Queensland, you want a case of Bloke, head into your local celebrations. If they don't have it, it's sold out. Or just ask them politely, can you order some Bloke beer? Get in your local celebrations in Queensland. Grab a case of Bloke. Let's get back to the chat.
Yeah, then that was like my first year. I was happy with how I played. Obviously didn't play as many minutes as I wanted to.
Yeah.
Played like 20. I probably played like 10 minutes before halftime, 5 minutes after halftime, and then maybe 10, 15. Yeah. And then the second that preseason came, and then I was training back row. It was between because I saw it was between me, Sua, and Jacob Post.
Yeah.
So Sua had that right side already set. Wayne said that because when we came in, Wayne sort of said the team that he wanted, like he had in mind. So he said like, oh yeah, centers are done, wingers are done. He goes, obviously there's room on the bench, but he's worried. He's thinking about left back row. He goes, it's between you and Hosty, and I was like, oh yeah. So Charity Shield came, and I think Sua was injured, so I went to the right side. Hosty was on the left. We played on whatever. I played all right. Hosty killed it that game. So then round one was against Melbourne in Melbourne, and then he named that team, and I was on the bench, and I was like, oh yeah, fair enough. Like fuck, Hosty killed it, and he deserves it.
Yep.
I was on the bench, and then we lost that game, and then round two we versus Manly, and I remember he came up to me and he came up to me and he goes, you're gonna play back row this week. You're gonna start this week back row. This is my first starting game.
Yeah.
You're gonna play back row, and I was gonna let you know that you're playing back row because I trust you now. But I just want to let you know that I'm gonna give you, I think 4 or 6 games. He goes, no matter what you do, I'm not gonna drop you for 4 to 6 games. So just like focus on your job, and so you don't have to worry about getting dropped. Like just know that you're gonna be playing for 4 to 6 games. And I remember, I played my first game. I remember this. I remember it was my mum's birthday. My mum's birthday was on March 20th. And I didn't buy my mum a present. I'm normally like pretty organised. I bought my mum, I went to the Westfields to buy my mum a present on the game day.
Yeah.
Bro, and the bus was leaving at 3 from Redfern. And bro, this was when, I can't remember, I don't know if you remember, it was when it was like raining, like it was like, it was like the worst month or something, like in 20 something years. It was like pissing down, everything was flooded and everything. I went to Westfields, and it was like maybe 1 o'clock, bro, that I got the present. I was on my way home. So I live 5 minutes away from home, so from the Westfields. Yeah. So when I got the present, bro, I came out of the car park, like I came out of I parked my car, went to go out of the exit, bro. It was all flooded, bro. And it was chockers like packed. Yep. Bro, it took me like 45 minutes or an hour to get out of there. So I sprinted home. I got home at like 2:30, and I was going to miss the bus, like, because it takes about 40 minutes from where my parents to Redfern. And so I would have missed the bus at 3. And I was like, bro, and I was like stressing. I was like, fuck, this is my first starting game and everything. I was like, bro, fuck. And then lucky Junior Totola lived like maybe 10 minutes from me. So, and he was driving to the game. Yeah. Bro, it worked out well. Like, I was like, fuck, have you left yet, bro? And he goes, nah, I'm leaving now. I'm like, oh, fuck, you pick me up. I'm going to miss the bus, bro. And like, fuck. And I was like stressed, bro. And then, my first game, like we won against Manly. But fuck, I remember, bro, just my debut and then my first starting game, I was like, fuck, I'm going to remember that forever. I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, and then everything sort of flowed from there, bro. Like, and then, just enjoyed my footy, bro. And I had a good combination with Cody and and Gags when he was a dang gag guy. And I love playing with Gags, bro. He's the man, bro.
He's a beast, bro.
He does anything, bro.
Yeah.
Like, remember every kick chase, bro, he'd sprint his hardest. Yeah. He'd be absolutely fucked, bro, and he'd sprint more. Like, he'd sprint again. Like, he keeps sprinting. The amount of times, like, we'd be at Marco, and I'd be like, bro, can you do a tackle for me? And he'd go, yeah, fucking oath, I'll do it. I'm like, fuck,
he loves it, eh?
Yeah, bro, he loves it. Yeah, so that year, played that year on the left edge, bro, and I was lucky enough to get a call by Freddie just to be 19th man. And
were you, when that happened, were you like, what?
Yeah, bro, it was funny. I kept... I was with my missus. I was out with my missus' family and that doing something, and I got a missed call from some random number because I don't pick up random numbers, so I left it. And then I got a message and it said, "Hey, it's Freddie. I can't remember what it was. It was like, give me a call when you can or something like that. Because I had Freddie when I was 18, and I thought it was a joke. Yeah, I thought one of my mates was doing something.
Cody Walker,
yeah, probably fuck him. I was like, so I was like, oh fuck. So I left it. I didn't worry about it, and then the same number called me at night, and I was like, nah, fuck. I did it again. Woke up the next day, the same number called me, bro, at 9 a.m. And I cancelled it again. Like, I didn't pick it up. Yeah. And then the manager from Rabbitohs rang me, like, and he goes, oh, hey. I'm like, oh, hey. And he goes, oh, what are you doing? I'm like, no, I'm just at home. And he goes, how come you haven't been answering your phone? I'm like, what do you mean? This is the first time you called me. And he goes, I think you should answer your phone because Freddie wants to talk to you. And I was like, oh, actual. I was like, oh, fuck, I thought it was a joke. And then the manager from the Blues called me and he's like, he goes, yeah, Freddie was trying to call you. And yeah, I was like, oh, fuck, sorry.
Sorry,
yeah,
bro.
I was like, sorry, bro. I was like, I thought it was a J up. And he goes, oh, yeah, can you come to camp at in Coogee at 5 p.m.
Yeah.
At night? I was like, oh, fuck, yeah. So I went and called my missus, like, oh, yeah, fuck, babe, I need a haircut. I'm going to Orange Camp. Babe, my missus was dirty at me too because it was like she booked a birthday weekend away.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
so I was like, fuck, and she was blowing up and I was like, well, I can't do anything.
There's not much I can do
like,
about it.
sorry, I'll make it up to you. Yeah, it was
100%.
filthy, but.
Did you make it up to it?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Surely.
Yeah, I did. But yeah, I went to camp and stuff and I was like, fuck. It was pretty crazy because like I think it was like almost 1 year to the date I debuted.
Wow.
Like fuck, I never thought. I always wanted to play Origin. I was like, fuck, I didn't think I would be anywhere near Origin within a year of debuting, you know.
Yeah.
Just being around the team and stuff and just giving that confidence that, you know, you're almost there.
Yeah.
You know, you're one of the best in your position.
Yeah.
Almost there. And that's my sort of next goal is to hopefully play Origin one day. And so that was, and that's sort of probably my flow-on effect from there. Like I sort of probably had a good back end of the year, that year.
For sure.
And that sort of led into the finals and just having confidence, you know, like, you know, I sort of belong in the team. And
you can impact games as well, rather than just like doing your job. You've got something to
sort
offer.
of adding stuff to your game. And sort of good that, you know, Cody and that sort of gave me confidence that, you know, bro, like if I give you the ball, bro, fuck, do whatever you want. Like don't just do a hit up.
Yeah.
Okay, fuck, go take the half on or go, fuck, do whatever. And that sort of confidence sort of built, and that's why I sort of felt like it built to this year with Lockie as well. Even though I changed sides, like sort of found my voice. Like when I was first in the back row, fuck, I just run leads and just wouldn't ask for the ball, just do my hit ups and just do my job. But you know, I don't want to sort of be that player. I want to sort of, I know what I can do, you know, like I can sort of, as you said, impact games and, you know, have sort of variety. You know, obviously I grew up watching Sonny Bill, so, you know, obviously I've been practicing flick passes and stuff like that. So I have that in my back pocket. So, that's where sort of our combination with me, Cody and our relationship and sort of built from there and then sort of moving sides with Lockie and we're close as well. So,
it's good. Like Lockie, he's got such a massive, massive future, and obviously Cody Walker ball playing is crazy.
Yeah,
what was it like walking into the Origin camp the first time? You got Tedesco.
Oh yeah,
all the big dogs. This was a record. You guys beat us by a record margin.
Oh, that was at Townsville. Yeah, that's when it was like 50 something or something.
But I think overall as well, it was like the most points differential ever.
Oh yeah.
So Tommy would have been there, Trell would have been there, Teddy, Cleary.
Fuck, it was I got there, but they were out at a golf day or something, so I had to wait until they came back.
Yeah.
Because Campbell, I played with Campbell growing up too, so he was 18th man. So I was his roomie and that. So I think I had to wait for him to have a key or something. So, and then they all came back, bro. And I remember, I think Tommy Turbo was the first person to come to me, and he's like, "Oh hey," he goes, "Hey, go on, mate, I'm Tommy." I was like, he says, "Oh hey, go on, mate, I'm Tom." I think you posted it or something.
Yeah,
like,
I think
a while ago, and I was like, oh, I know who you are.
Right, you don't need to say that.
I know who you are, but all the boys were mad, and I grew close to some boys, and fuck, just mad because they're like all the best, bro, like in their position, and fuck, it's like.
What was the training like for you? The standard,
bro. Fuck, it was so high, bro. Like everything's like sprinting, like. You can't really relax because everyone's so like fit, everyone's so at the top of their game, so their training is, you know, one step further. So that's sort of good for me, I reckon, and just sort of learning off the boys and it was a mad experience, and you know, traveling with them. You know, went from Coogee to Sydney Olympic Park, being there for a bit, and then going to Townsville, being close with them, and it was mad. It was mad.
And so that year also, obviously, you play in the grand final.
Oh yeah.
What was that like leading into the grand final?
I was pretty mad. I always wanted to play ANZ like grand final. Yeah. Because, you know, packed, and I always wanted to see what that was like because we played in the prelim the year before against Penrith, and that was only 45,000 at ANZ. Yeah. And that was still pretty packed, and I was like, fuck, imagine what 80 was like. Yeah. But at Suncorp, fuck, it was because Suncorp is one of my favorite when it's packed because it's like so close. Yeah. So close. And I remember when we beat Penrith the first game in Townsville, fuck, that's when we first thought we were like, fuck, we can actually like win it. Like we just beat them, why can't we do it again? And for credit to them, bro, they went the hard way. Like whether we lost or we won, that team had to go through. I think they had to go through Para then Storm to get to the grand final and then play us again.
Yeah.
So fuck, we'll hyped up for that game because we like with the so many times we've almost had them, and they've gotten away, and we're like, fuck. And then we just put everything into that game, that Townsville game, we beat them. And then we had the week off and we versed Manly. And that's when Tommy Turbo was fucking like a god too. Yeah. I remember every time I was just trying to watch Turbo, like see if he was doing any inside balls or something. I remember there was a play that they did. There was like I forgot who the hooker was. So the hooker, it was in the middle of the field. The hooker jumped out one way, ran past the markers, and Turbo was coming the other way. Yeah. So I tried to do a massive shot on him, bro. I flew out and I fucking I full like launch, like a proper launch. Yeah. Full launch, bro. I gave everything I had and they just bounced off, bro. Like just bounced, like he just went like that and bounced off. And I put everything I had into it and I landed on my face.
It's a fullback, bro.
But I was like, fuck. And I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that again. I was like, fuck. And then I did that. And then it was sort of a tough game at the start. It was because I think Moses scored, Suli scored, but it was disallowed. And then Cody scored. That's when Cody was fucking. He was like
crazy
scoring, bro. Like the ball was kicked, bro, and he came out of nowhere and scored.
Yeah,
like,
he had it just on a string, bro.
Yeah,
like,
bro.
He was incredible.
But you know when you play games and you sort of get that feeling, like even though it's tough, you know that you can win it. Like you know if you stay at it, you'll win it.
Yeah.
So that was sort of how we felt against Manly. And obviously we blew out sort of at the end. And I remember coming off, Wayne took me off at like maybe 15 minutes left and I was like, fuck, bro, we're going to the grand final, bro.
GF, baby.
And I was like, fuck. And that was when Benji was playing and fuck, like his last year. And bro, the team we had, bro, it was stacked, bro. I was like, and we were like at our peak at the right time. Yeah. Like I remember early in the year, like, fuck, we got pumped by Penrith. Fuck, on my birthday too in Dubbo. Fucking another birthday present.
And
52 no.
And then the next week wasn't it Storm? Like 2 weeks later.
Bro, Storm Fox scored like 14 tries or something. I remember that game, bro. I was I didn't even think I broke a sweat because we were on our line the whole time.
Yeah,
they scored and then I would stand there.
Was this the first 6 again rules, wasn't it?
I think so. Yeah.
First or second year? So it was the second year, but they'd added even more.
They added, yeah.
Yeah.
So then the 6 again happened and fuck, they were rolling us and all this stuff. That's when Trell was out and Cody was fullback.
Yep.
And everything was going around. So it was sort of maybe blessing in disguise that we sort of got pumped, and then we'll, under the radar, no one gave us a chance. So we were just doing our own thing. But we always knew that, we could, when it was time to play, we could play. And, everyone was reaching their peak. And I think the bubble helped too. We sort of grew so strong in the bubble.
Yeah.
Like we were doing so many team events together and, drinking and like getting close together and and especially like in the bubble when our families came up, our families got closer to each other, so that made us everyone's families were close and we're going out to barbecues and stuff all the time. After every game we'll go into barbecues too and you just sort of build that family bond and that grand final, bro. I remember, bro. I gave my all that first half. Like I played all right that game. Like I was just trying to do big shots and whatever, just trying to change the game. I remember, bro, I walked into half time and I think it was like 12-10 or 12 or something like that. I walked in and I was like, when you're absolutely like in preseason when you're absolutely fucked and you're you're seeing blurred vision and that. Yeah. That was me at half time.
And you're like all jelly?
Bro, like I was on the bike, bro. I was trying to like get ramped and I was like, fuck. I was like rattled, bro.
It's like an adrenaline dump almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was taking everything under the sun, bro, trying to get back up. Yeah, and I was like, fuck. And then I was like, fuck, bro, there's 40 minutes left, bro. Fuck, just do whatever and whatever happens, just be happy with it. And I went out there, got my adrenaline pumped back a little bit. And I was on the bench when the last 10 minutes happened. But... Oh, bro, it's one of those things like what if something happened like when Cam made a break, what if someone was coming through the middle or like what if Reno got that, bro. Reno gets that goal like so many times, like he's good side, kind of kid, he just missed it and had another chance to field goal, but fuck, like we couldn't really play in, like it was the toughest game I reckon I've played. Physical work, bro. It was that fast, bro.
Their line speed and your line speed was just crazy, bro.
That's what I mean. Like we knew we had to match them. Like whatever they did, we had to try and do better.
Yeah.
And we always with Penrith, bro. Like this, they just go all the way to the end, bro. Like they're the same. Like And that's where I feel like we stay with him for like maybe 50, 60 minutes
Yeah.
back then, and we were like, fuck, like we just got to hold on. But that's probably how fit they are. And fuck, Cleary's he's like Cam Smith, bro, just stuff on a string. Like,
Yeah. Great kicking game.
like kicking game in pockets and that. Like, fuck, so hard for us to get out.
And you're missing Trell.
I'm just happy with sort of how we played as a team and how I played, and always like I don't regret anything. Like fuck, it's a mad experience, and fuck, Penrith were better team on the day, and they deserve it, bro. Like fuck, they were there the year before against Storm and almost won it. Like when they came back from like 8 points with like fuck 2 minutes left, they almost won it, and fuck, they were the best team all year, so they deserved it, bro. And fuck, and
I think most Rabbitohs fans as well, like although they were devo that you lost, like I don't think anyone was disappointed with the way you played.
Yeah,
you know, like you couldn't have, like you played almost as good as you could possibly play.
Yeah. And no one sort of gave us a shot either.
No way. People thought you were going to bounce out the 8 middle of the year.
Yeah, and like even though we made the grand final, still people were like, "Oh fuck, Penrith will put 40 on them or something, 30." And we're like, "Fuck, yeah." So, fuck, the way we played, bro, I reckon it was hectic, and the boys that we had back then, bro, they were hectic, bro. Like Benji, Gags, fuck, they were so good to play with, bro. Yeah. And I learned a lot from them too, and even coming into this year, bro, I was so confident as well, and you know, fuck that prelim, man, fuck we're up to 12-0 with 5 minutes left in the first half.
Yeah.
Like I always think to myself, if we go 12-0 into the break, fuck it, we could have won that.
Yeah.
Right. And then we versus Para in the grand final, and fuck, that's like a winnable game. Oh, it's just one of those things that you always look back on. Like,
well, to have Penrith down 12-0,
bro,
the game's there for you, because you're not going to get that opportunity, you know.
It was one of those games, bro. Like they scored like 2-3 tries, but it got disallowed.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's one of those games where like fuck, nothing goes your way. Like if you're looking at them, like fuck, they're getting nothing. Like everything's going against them. And in my mind, I was like, fuck, this is like one of those games that like we're just meant to win.
Yeah.
I remember AJ was out, Liver was out, Tommy was out, and fuck, like the way we played, bro, and Richie scored. Bro, and when we're up 12-0, bro, I remember just saying to the team, I'm like, just don't do anything stupid, man. Like, fuck, we just go to the break 12-0. Yeah. Bro, it's just one of those things, bro. If we went in 12-0, bro, I'm confident we win that game.
Yeah, because you come back
we
out
hang
buzzing.
on, I reckon we hang on. Like, because, we come back buzzing, and, you know,
that's what they do, though, Penrith. Like,
they just keep going.
Hang in there, and then boom.
One mistake, you're gone.
Yeah.
Bro, like, especially in your half.
Yeah.
If you make a mistake in your half, it's 6 points.
Yeah.
Like, you can't.
Because he'll just build pressure. He'll get 3 repeat sets if he needs to, and then he'll score 6 points.
And it's annoying because you have to do as much kick pressure as you can on Cleary.
Yeah.
Fucking, he's still like.
The
amount of times I've actually hit him while he's kicked and he still put it on a dime. I'm like, bro, I'm wasting that much energy doing this. So like, if I was doing nothing, I'll just let him kick it.
So this year, you know, some of your best footy, really, and you played 27 games. Are you almost beginning to feel, not necessarily like a senior player, but heading towards that? Like you want to start helping the younger fellas, but also like you realise that you're not just on the edge to play footy, you're actually an integral part of the team.
Yeah, so JD has had a chat with me and he's told me that he wanted me to be sort of a leader on the right side.
Yeah.
Because we have like meetings like left, right, middles and all that. And
right side, strong side kind of
yeah.
stuff.
So we at the start of the year I wasn't really vocal and sort of was how I was the year before, like quiet and wasn't playing my best, probably because I wasn't in good shape too. Fuck, I was like 118 kilos at round 1 and I finished the year like 111. So
was that, do you think that's because you're doing too much weights? And
fuck, last year, bro, after the grand final, I forgot to tell you, after the grand, my cousin lives in a farm in Brisbane. So I stayed there for like probably a month or 2 after the grand final. And I was living on a farm, bro, and I was like drinking every day, bro. And like that, I'm not a beer drinker, bro. And I was drinking, like I was on on a farm, bro, you're just vibing. Like
yeah. What else are you going to do?
Yeah, just drinking, like just enjoying it, like kicking back. Like you had a good year, you played grand final, just enjoying like your off season. Bro, I came back, like my playing weight last year was like 112. Bro, when I came back in Sydney, I jumped on scales, it was 123.
Oh my
and I was
God.
And I was like,
what happened?
Oh, bro, and I was like, fuck this. I was like, and then I remember like, I was, me, Josh Mansell, like a few of the boys, Junior, Hummer and all that, we all got together and we were training a lot. So I got back, I lost about 6 kilos then.
Yeah.
Did preseason that, but I was still round 1. I remember I was 117.
Yeah.
But I still felt all right, but I just wasn't playing. Like I wasn't as agile as I was, and probably just eating shit, bro. Like fucking, I was just. And then it was the bye week during the year, and then I just trained like pretty much every day, and just pretty much ate only when I needed to. Like just to get and I lost like 4 kilos in that week. So I ended up, and by the end of the year, I was like 111. So, so going back to the leadership thing, JD wanted me to sort of be a leader. Because obviously Lockie's new. Campbell's sort of younger than me, even though he's played heaps of games. He's still sort of relatively new. And the winger at the time was like Sauce.
Changed a lot.
Yeah, changes. So, but yeah, Lockie and Campbell were the set edge. Probably mid-year in the year last year, I sort of, I think I was sort of playing maybe a week or two good football, and I sort of started to find my voice in the video and stuff.
Yep.
And I started feeling more confident about myself, and even on the field, telling Lockie what I want. Like I tell Lockie, I'm like, fuck, give me the ball. Like when I want the ball, give it to me and that. I never used to be like that, and that's where I sort of felt like I grew as a leader. And obviously, young boys coming through, they sort of look up at you. And like in my shoes, when I first came in, I was looking up to Sato and Sammy, and them young boys doing the same thing. So I got to lead by example and just try and be a leader, vocal wise, and obviously like still have a joke in that. But that's where I was sort of, as a young kid, you sort of don't know the balance of having to fuck around and then playing. But now I sort of know the difference. And,
well, you can tell because like this preseason, you've already been back to training a few days a week, so it's like a different mentality now.
Like there's a lot of young boys too. And I remember when I first started preseason, like obviously it's all the younger boys, none of the older boys are there. And when the older boys did come in, you're like, fuck, that's mad. And then you train harder and train.
For sure.
It's actually mad seeing the older boys. So like for me to go in and talk to the young boys and get to know them and even ask their name and say, oh yeah, I'm blah blah, and like they get a smile on their face and they want to train with you. And so it's something like that. And obviously I'm getting older. I'm 24 now, but I still feel like I'm still haven't reached my peak yet. And for me to get to my peak, I feel like I sort of got to be more of a role model and leader.
Well, it almost like forces you to keep high standards. Whereas like when you're just worried about yourself, you can fall off and not do this, not do that. But when you're worried about the team and what you can offer them, you have to stay at a high standard. Otherwise, you're letting everyone else down, kind of thing. Yeah,
and I want to win too. So I want to do anything I can to win. So if that's for me to become a leader, and I know I always took to my right side before the games and stuff, and just be like, we just defend how we defend the training, get confidence for the game coming up and for the finals and that coming up, and every time like we get a small win, like whether the halfback throws it ball out of bounds or we drag someone out, like always make sure that I'm the one that gets in there and ramps the boys up, be like, fucking oath, let's do it again. Like
100%.
Little stuff like that,
So, for sure. You need that because like when a big play happens in defence, like it's nothing worse than like no one coming over and whooping up and that. You're like,
because you get G'd up and then like you look around there, no one's just like,
and you're like, what? Get G'd up? Like, we just dominated these boys. Man, it's gonna. I can't wait to see how he goes this year, especially a whole year with Lockie having played a whole year of first grade now. I ask all the boys this, bro. Actually, who is any young fellas that are chirpy coming through that you got along with quite a bit? Or I mean, I know Cody Walker is literally the town pest, but
no. I know. I find like a lot of the younger boys are more confident nowadays. Like
way more confident.
But I remember when I first came in, bro. Like I used to, there used to be there's an NRL shed at Redfern, and then there's like a pathway shed.
Yeah.
And that's where you are, because that's the part that you want to try to get to the NRL change room. Probably like we used to always sit in the change room. Like only used to come out when we used to train or go to the gym. Yeah. We used to only leave that change room. But all the boys now, they come into the change room, like hang around, they're like one of the boys now, which they are, but like, you know what I mean? Like, sort of when back in the day, like, you're like, fuck. Like,
no way you're doing that.
You're too scared. Like, you walk into the changing room, like, fuck, I'm just getting a drink. Is that all right?
Yeah. Well, we used to like, so there was like, everyone had their lockers with their names on it around the Bronx changing room. Yeah. And they gave like all the like outside of the top 25, we just had like a plastic box, and we all just had to sit around the plastic box.
Oh,
and put
really?
Stuff in it. So, but we never sat on the lockers.
Oh, yeah.
Because we weren't.
Yeah, you have to earn your spot.
You have to earn our spot, have to earn the right kind of thing. Yeah. But it's just a different generation.
Yeah.
There's good and bad of it. Sometimes you get the chirpy guy where you're like, bro, you need to like earn the right to act like that. But then also sometimes it's good to get them confident so they're not rattled in team sessions, and when they debut, they're more confident. So it's definitely good and bad for them. Mate, I ask all the boys this, favourite rapper of all time?
Rapper?
Yeah.
I'm not really into rap, eh?
Okay, favourite musician of all time?
I listen to a bit of Biggie.
Biggie?
Yeah, he's pretty much, I like his voice on that.
Yeah, it's one of the goats. And he's like more party-ish music.
Yeah, party, yeah. Like a vibe in that.
And what's the goal for this year? What's if everything happens, perfectly? Oh, actually, you were named in the team of the tournament this World Cup.
Yeah.
Was that like shit? Damn.
I didn't even know that they like. Fuck, I thought I played alright, but fuck, I thought like, out of all the people that played, like I was like, fuck, I didn't think I'd make 17. I didn't even know it was a thing, because I seen it on Instagram, but I seen like how it was laid out, like the starters, like they were there, but I didn't see the bench. Like the bench was only small, so I thought it was only 13.
Yeah.
And then whatever, and then like all these people were sending me stuff and like congrats. I was like, fuck, what do I do? And then,
What did I do?
yeah, and then I'd seen it, and then I was like, oh fuck, it's pretty mad. Like it's pretty great. Like out of like Australia, New Zealand, like England, like all these mad teams, all the mad players that play, like fuck, I'm mad.
Well, I mean, the list: Manu, To'o, Lafai, Crichton, Adokar, Jerome Luai, George Williams, Tom Burgess, IPAP, Paolo, Murray, Martin, Radley, Grant, Taruva, yourself, Fisher-Harris.
Yeah, fuck. Imagine playing with that team.
Oh, bro.
Holy shit. That'd be
That's
mad team.
hectic.
Yeah.
Hectic.
Yeah, it's pretty humbling, man. Fuck.
What's the goal? Like, obviously, the goal's a premiership this year, obviously, with you guys, but what's the goal personally for you this year?
Fuck, it's probably just to keep growing as a player, really. Like, I know I've got a lot more to offer on the field, and I just want to sort of express that. Like, I'm still sort of shy in that on the field. Like, there's still some stuff I don't do, and but I do it training sometimes. But I just want to be able to like be free, sort of thing.
Yeah,
it's no one else holding me back. It's just myself. Like I just got to get through it, and but obviously I want to play Origin. Whether the eligibility role stuff happens, like if I can play and stuff. But
how does that like? Because like for me personally, like I'm obviously Aussie, Queenslander, and like it's like means so much to me. And so like I'm really torn, because I'm like, I don't want I don't want people not passionate playing Origin, but at the same time, I don't know what it feels like to have a different heritage, but also grow up and live in New South Wales or Queensland.
Yeah.
How does it feel for you personally?
Yeah, I feel like if you like grew up in New South Wales or Queensland and you played your junior football there, like you should play Origin no matter what, because it's like not everyone's Australian that plays like in New South Wales and everything. It's like heaps of Polynesian boys, different races and that, and like state of origin, like it should be like where you're born and that, and I reckon like if even though you're Tongan and that, like you should be able to represent both. Like you shouldn't have to choose, like, because I'm Australian as well. Like my mum's Australian, so that would be like sort of representing her. You know what I mean? If I was to play Origin, and I know I'm a bit like, I feel like if you feel like regardless of like Tonga and Samoa and that, if you can play Origin, I feel like you should be able to no matter what. Like,
no matter what.
And then be able to go back and represent your culture, like because it's different. Like you're playing for your country and then you're playing for your state. Like it's not like it's the same. Like it's not like Tonga's versus New South Wales or something. Like
and like for you personally, like putting on that Blues jersey, are you like obviously it's different. I'm not saying like not trying to take over Tonga, but are you just as like pipe pumped as you would be if you're putting on a Tongan jersey to a degree?
Yeah, fuck. Yeah, probably because I love like sort of bit of like biffing and that. Yeah,
aggressive
yeah, I like when people like get aggressive and that.
And it means a lot to you because obviously your mum's Australian as well, so you're representing her, her family kind of thing.
So I always watch it every year, and I always wanted to be a part of it, and because I think like I'll be alright, because like I'm not the type to get aggressive first, like. I like someone to like sort of annoy me or something.
Kick it off,
and then I can have a reason.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I don't like being that guy that goes out
initiates.
Like a loser. So I like someone doing something. And then
it's like I'm leaning towards the side of like if you grew up here and you're under 13 and you played here, then I think that you should be able to like. I don't think that you should be able to come here when you're 17. And then just because then you don't get it. Whereas I think if you grew up here, you get it. Like you watched everyone growing up, like so you understand it. But and it's better for the international game. We can't grow as a game unless we allow the Polynesian boys to play for their culture, because you make up like 60 to 70% of the comp now. Like otherwise, we shoot ourselves in the foot. So like it's such an interesting topic because it's. I get both sides because you don't want to just dilute it and make it, but at the same time, I agree with you, bro. I think if you've played juniors before, you've experienced it, lived it, then why not? Like,
Yeah,
It's
it
going to
should
hurt the
be,
game.
Yeah, because you have every right to be like.
Yeah.
You have every right to play. So I don't see why you can't.
Well, you can't,
Yeah.
for sure. It's like Origin next year, far out. I'm already excited, bro.
Yeah, it's gonna be mad.
I'm already excited.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Like, there's so many. Like, for example, like, who's going to play on the wing? Suoliti or To'o or Fox?
He's that hard to tackle now, eh?
Bruh,
He's actually gone.
he's actually crazy.
Yeah, because he was at South. He did a preseason when Wayne was here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He would have been like
He came in
17
like a
years
few
old.
days, like because
Yeah.
I think he had school and stuff. But
Yeah.
I remember he came in, we did like 3-on-1 or something, and he was in like the forwards group. I think it was with like Tommy or something.
Yeah.
And he was like holding his own, like running so
way.
hard, like
And he's like 17-year-old kid.
yeah. Because you know when you hear like 15, 16-year-olds coming
You
up,
hear gun and
yeah,
you're
you hear
like-
gun, you're like, oh yeah, you gotta like play, you gotta earn your.
Yeah, 100%.
But fuck, when I seen him like tour and fuck, he's killing it. And
Yeah.
even like when Wayne's impressed, you're like, fuck, it must be all right.
Yeah.
If
Well,
Wayne-
because you every year you hear, oh, this guy's a gun. And then he gets into like first grade training and he gets result.
Yeah.
Rightly so, because he's
Yeah.
18 or 17.
yeah,
But like for Suoliti to
Yeah.
come as far as he's
different,
come,
yeah.
bruh, he's a beast.
Once
bro.
every
But then
generation,
like,
eh?
what's crazy is just like Suoliti, like don't get me wrong, beast, super young, so he's got so many years to grow. But then like Trell was like,
Oh,
bruh, I'm still the OG here,
Yeah,
bruh. With that try where he
Yeah.
bumped him, I was like, fuck,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
hectic, bro.
fuck when Trell turns it on, bro. Fuck, he's
Mate, what's he like in rest? Does he have to do it with the forwards wrestling, or can he do it with the backs?
fuck. I don't even know if he does it. Fuck, he doesn't have to do any wrestle. Makes one tackle a game. Nah, fuck. If he was to wrestle, I reckon because he's like so like just strong. Like
Yeah.
if you feel his forearms are like rocks.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like, and if you've ever copped a palm from him,
Oh, mate.
like at training, bro, like he has to stop at training. Like when he does like someone, like say if we're doing like a pose,
Yeah.
they kick the ball to him. He has to like he can't run back
Hard.
full strength because
No
he'll
way.
score a full try. Like he'll do like a jink, like a step, and then palm someone like a
Yeah.
young bloke, and they'll go fly. Like there's sometimes where he like proper like just folds some guy and then like helps him out. But
My God.
But
So
he's
it's like,
like
so they
so-
tell him basically like, bro, you just chill.
oh, like he just like he'd run like he'd make a break and they'd be like, all right, play the ball there. Like stop it, and then like we have to reset. Yeah,
Bruh.
because then we
he's a
can't get through our
beast.
stuff. Fuck, but
Yeah.
he's-
People don't, I think like, you've got to see him in real life to see how big he
Yeah.
is. And when he starts like, you know how like he'll do runs where he'll run at about 75%. When he hits his 100%, it's shocking how fast he is. You're like, how is a guy that
moves
big
well, eh?
moving that
And he's
quickly?
agile.
Craziness.
He's like steps. He's fast, and he's like he's got like a bump and a fend at the same time.
And mad
so I don't know
hands.
where you tackle him.
Oh, 100%.
You have to go legs, but I
Yeah.
don't know where. But fuck.
Well, crazy. Do you have any hobbies?
I used to be a mad gamer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fortnite?
No,
COD?
a little bit more COD.
COD.
COD, NBA, Madden.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get into FIFA now. I want to get into that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't mind FIFA. It's
Yeah.
pretty fun, but I just spend too much money on the games, man. Fuck.
Or the microtransactions.
Yeah, my career and like my team, like creating teams and stuff. Like, doing all that. But sort of been good that I've been away, like because then my missus disconnected the Wi-Fi because save money. So yeah, so we just got it yesterday. So I'm trying to organize everything, like to get the Wi-Fi so I connect my PlayStation and set
Who's
up.
out of the boys? Who's the best at COD and NBA 2K?
I don't know. We have like a group. I don't know.
Surely Hosties streams.
Oh yeah,
He
Fuck,
streams.
bro, I'll be honest. He's pretty shit for someone that streams. No, he's for someone that streams all the time, bro. Fuck.
Donut. They call him Donut. No kills,
all
bro.
the boys give it to him at that thing. Like, fuck, he's a streamer and you're shit. No, but yeah. No, but all the boys jump on like, we're not like gun. But
Yeah.
I used to be pretty like competitive back in the day. Like I used to play like some tournaments and stuff.
Yeah,
but,
really.
Yeah, but I want to get back into it, but it's sort of hard with a baby and that.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
So
so I-
just get her up on the lap.
Yeah, every time she sleeps, bro, I just straight away sneak away and go straight on there.
When I was like coming through, like as a gamer, like microtransactions didn't exist. So you didn't buy.
Oh, you just play the game.
You bought the game,
Yeah,
and,
and then
you
just-
got the fucking
yeah.
game, bro.
You were so much money, bro.
Bro, you can spend hundreds of
Oh,
dollars.
bro. I reckon I'm like thousands. Bro.
Oh, bro. Oh
stop.
man, microtransactions, and I think like the older generation don't understand it. Like, how could you pay money for a game?
Yeah, I know.
thing?
Yeah,
But they don't get that it's like, yeah, but it's part of like
You have to.
the community of it as
Yeah.
well. Like, you know, you're building something, and also like the way I always used to explain to people was like, I can go out and get on the beers. We'll spend minimum $250 probably.
Yeah.
I could do that once a week. or I could play, spend $100 a week, but sit at home, relax, not damage my body, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. So it's like kind of ends up like cheaper to a degree, as long as you don't go too hectic with it.
Yeah.
Because there's all those horror stories of like young kids taking their like parents' credit cards and that.
My kid ever did that.
Oh, bruh, you'd be filthy. Mate, thank you so much for coming on, brother. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate it. No, it was good to finally come and see you and that. It's hectic.
Boom.
Appreciate it.
Done.